Hello students, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. There are a couple of articles to be discussed today. The first article is about disability policy. Okay? We'll try to do one thing. One of the articles, after the end of discussion of the article, I'll try to write an answer. In the sense, 90% I will write, 10% I'll discuss. So that you get an idea how to open the, have I given a question at the end of this article? Is there a question? Yeah, there is a question. The fourth page. Yeah. First is the draft disability policy. Very, very important. Disability will come under what? Which subject? Which subject? अरे नहीं, I am not talking about the listing. UPSC में syllabus किधर आएगा? About disability. Very good, youngsters. It is under governance. Governance is a subset of polity. Second article, labor code. Labor code. It will come under both economy and again governance. Very, very important. See, governance is one subject. It will come repetitively in the discussions and the classroom learning without you actually seeing it what you call distinctly. It will be visible to you, but it will not be visible to you. Any dimension, it will definitely have a governance related underpinning to it. So governance, that is how when we teach Indian polity, once the basic dimensions of governance are taught to you, all the questions in governance come from current affairs dimensions only. So you have to, there are three subjects where the questions will come 99% from current affairs: international relations, internal security and governance. The core subjects. Remaining science and tech, environment also do come, but from the core dimension, these are the three subjects. Questions will come from current affairs underpinning related topics only, where he will link the concept with the current affair, both IR, internal security and governance. ठीक है? Now, what is the third article? क्या था? What is the third article? NIA, National Investigation Agency, from internal security. And fourth one, NATO. NATO comes under, it could come from modern world history dimension, a question can come from modern world history dimension, or a question from your what you call IR. It can come anywhere. Please. Okay, it can come from modern world history or international relations. And what is the last article? India, Russia, defense cooperation. It is purely from IR perspective. It is not an economy concept. It is an IR concept. Okay? Though it looks as if it is from internal security, but it has got nothing to do with internal security. It is purely an IR based article. Okay? Now, coming back to our first article, that is draft disability policy. These articles I have been sharing every day on the mentorship platform. Somebody, anybody who has read it religiously? How about my foundation batch? You did not get it? Okay. Next time I will tell them, but it is available in the website. It is being uploaded every day on the website also, but that also Oberoi sir should tell कि website में जाओ, daily current affairs के articles में डाल रहा हूँ, please open and see it. That also spoon feeding has to be done. ठीक है, चलो. What do you understand by disability? कौन बताएगा? Disability क्या होता है? Disability क्या होता है? Disability क्या है? Unable to write an answer is a? Not able to perform. Can I say both physical and How many types of disabilities the government has classified? कौन बताएगा? Mentorship. कौन बोला? Good. The how many type of classifications before this 21? Huh? See, I love this silence, you know. The moment I ask a question, pin drop silence. एक जवाब नहीं आता है, ठीक है? जैसे मैं पीछे मुड़ता हूँ, स्टार्ट हो जाते हो, हैं? तुम्हारे में और वो एलकेजी बच्चे में कोई फर्क नहीं है. शरीर से बड़े हो गए हो, आत्मा अभी भी वहीं एलकेजी में रुकी हुई है, ठीक है? हाँ. See, the government has recently increased the number of disability classifications to 21. Earlier it was 7 or 8, if I remember it correctly. 7. It was earlier 7. Now they have increased to 21. So, did the representation of disabled increased or decreased? Increased, right? So now the homework for you is to write it somewhere in your current affairs notebook. What are these 21 classifications of disabilities? Prelims questions. Why? Because recently they have added, no? So they might give some options and ask you to pick up the option which has recently included, something like that, okay? So you should know what are the various 21 classifications. Now, in this, what the critics are saying, you have taken care of the physical aspect and the mental aspect, very, very good. But you omitted one most important dimension of inclusion, that is political inclusion. What does it mean? What does it mean? Anyone? Basically, reservation based on disability. Is it there in our constitution? You have reservation based on certain dimensions also, right? SC, ST को दिया, तुमने women को दिया, some other dimensions you have given some safeguards or reservations to them. But did anywhere in the political spectrum, I am not talking about the economic spectrum. In the economic spectrum you have reservation for this classification. But he is talking about the political spectrum in all the three levels of governance, that is central, state or local self-government, right? The third rung of what you call governance structure. In all the three structures, you did not specify anywhere, either in the initial constitution or through a constitutional amendment act or through a statutory support. अरे समझ में आ रहा है? What is a constitutional? It means initially the framers of the constitution did not add any provision related to political inclusion of disabled persons. This is one dimension. Had this been constitutionally mandated, they would have got that strength, no? They would have fought for their what you call rightful place in the political spectrum. If this was initially missed out, through the Constitutional Amendment Act also it did not happen, this inclusion did not happen, right? And also you have this National Commission for the Protection of Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribes, minorities, other backward classes, all you have, right? But do you have anything for the disabled? No. So that is how you did not give either a constitutional or extra constitutional or a non-constitutional or a statutory backing also. For what? The word, underlying word, please try to remember. For political inclusion. I am only talking with respect to political institution. Inclusion. Other than this, it is there. Okay? Now, what the author in this particular article is trying to say is, all other inclusions in the absence of political inclusion are meaningless. The author's underlining statement is, no matter what you give, but if you have not given political access to them, reservation to them, it means that whatever efforts you are doing to protect them is meaningless. And in this article he is giving a very classic example where he is saying that in India we even do not have a culture of glorifying disabled politicians. Very, very important point. He says, in India we do not have a culture of glorifying a disabled politician. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Not recognizing the disabled.
One is non-recognition, one dimension is non-recognition. What is the second dimension? One is non-recognition. What is the second dimension? Most important, social dimension. Social, not economic. Social पूछ रहा हूँ. There is a deep socio-cultural taboo. You have this feeling, no? He is himself handicapped, वो देश क्या चलाएगा? You getting my point? He is himself handicapped, वो देश क्या चलाएगा? So this is the socio-cultural taboo which is deep rooted, and he is giving the name of some MP who has been a member of parliament, but nowhere in the political discourse his name comes. Sadan Gupta. If you see the inadequate representation paragraph, he is given his name. There is a political person by name Sadan Gupta. Despite we having an example, nowhere in the political discourse his name comes up even for discussion. It means that, one, we are not recognizing their presence or contribution in the political spectrum. We have a socio-cultural taboo that we do not want to include their name also. Right? This is most important dimension. When you come back to the first page, in the first paragraph itself, he is trying to give you certain important dimensions or conventions related to disability. The first thing he is talking about is the United Nations Convention on Right of Persons with Disability, and the second is the enactment of 2016 Act. Please make a note, underline this if you are writing somewhere. What are the various international conventions India is a signatory to related to persons with disabilities? If somebody asks you in interview, or some question comes in the mains, or if they give some options in the prelims, you should know all these conventions. The first is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, which India is a signatory of. And second international convention is the Incheon strategy, the third point. The Incheon strategy for Asia and Pacific Decade of Persons with Disability. So 2022, this year in mains, a question on this particular dimension will surely come, because it has been observed as a decade for persons with disabilities for Asia Pacific. So please underline this or make a note. Incheon strategy for Asian and Pacific Decade of Persons with Disabilities. We also call it Incheon commitment. Very, very important. See, this kind of information will be greatly helpful to you if a general essay comes, or even in a philosophical essay you can bring in the political dimension related to our efforts for this particular issue. Okay. Next, in the next paragraph we are talking about, we are saying that this Incheon commitment or the Incheon strategy is was basically prepared under the aegis of United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific. So now you should immediately write a question next to it. What are the various organs of United Nations? So that you know what are the various organs of United Nations. Make a asterisk, star mark, and write this. What are the various important organs of United Nations? That is how connectivity will come. And they are talking about these 10 goals. They are talking about the 10 goals, and they are again linking these goals with what? The Sustainable Development Goals, which are supposed to end in the year 2030. So they are linking. See, first they took you to the convention, then he brought immediately to your own statutory obligation. First is an international convention, then came the statutory obligation 2016 Act, then he again took you back to a regional area where Asia Pacific related commitment under the Incheon strategy, then again he took you back to the United Nations Convention under which strategy was signed. So he is trying to take you at a world perspective, regional perspective and national perspective. So three layered perspective he is giving you about this disability. Now See, one more dimension he's saying is these commitments have changed the discourse around disability by shifting the focus from individual to society and from social to human rights model of disability. So this is, he is trying to draw parallels, try to understand this dimension. He is only trying to draw parallels where he is saying do not look at disability as an individual's perspective, look at it as a social perspective, and do not stop at looking at it as a social perspective, look at it from the dimension of human rights also. So that is how he is trying to open verticals. One, he spoke about constitutional, non-constitutional, international conventions, regional specific conventions, national statutory backup. Then he is talking about another parallel where he is trying to talk about individual level, society level, and now the human rights level. And after that it says that, come to the next paragraph, it says, leave that principle of draft policy and all. See, in furtherance of this commitment, the policy document highlights a detailed commitment to all these dimensions: education, health, skill development and employment, sports and culture, social security, accessibility and other institutional mechanisms. However, a glaring omission is the absence of any commitment to the political upliftment of persons with disabilities. Now, let's discuss this. How do you ensure the political upliftment of persons with disabilities? How you ensure? How do you, what you would like to do to bring in a change to ensure the political upliftment of the persons with disabilities? What you need to do? What you will do? Political upliftment, क्या करोगे? I don't want a bookish answer. Political upliftment, what you will do for persons with disability? What is the first thing you need to do? For politics, education is not essential. Education और politics को mix मत करो, ठीक है? Always remember, you need not be an educated person to participate in the politics of this country till now at least, ठीक है? और जब तक मोदी है चिंता मत करो, नहीं रहेगा. हाँ.
Eminent person can be added as a nominee for Lok Sabha.
So, are you talking about representation? How you guarantee representation then? Representation, the way you have certain category of seats earmarked for certain category of individuals in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, state legislative assemblies, state legislative councils, right? Why do not you ensure their representation through a system of reservation? See, right? See, it is a chain effect. If a person with disability becomes the member of your parliament, he will try to bring in something for the persons who are also from the same social dimension. He may introduce a private member's bill regarding that something might move in that particular dimension, or seeing him at that particular level of political power, maybe others will also get motivated to participate in the political spectrum at various other levels as well. So it only will open up a scope of imagination that yes, I can also contest for this particular post, though it might be result of a reservation, but people will start at least aspiring for these kind of posts. What is the other thing you will do? Political upliftment. Bas, that's all. Political reservation. और क्या करोगे? What will you do?
Giving voice to them.
Giving voice मतलब voice over करेगा.
Placing council of ministry.
नहीं, let him complete. Let him complete, then I will come. हाँ.
Like they don't like basically.
Who will give the voice? Who? He says that we need to create a platform of voice platform through government, through NGOs and the, as he said, the NHRC can play an important role here, right? So that is how you are trying to create an institutional support for them, wherein certain segments of governance, the NGOs and also certain what you call constitutional bodies try to play for their prominent presence in the society. What else? Political representation. हाँ, क्या दोगे और?
We also spread awareness
Okay, she says the point of using the media as a platform to spread awareness about their scope of political participation, not about their disability. Awareness is not about their disability position or that support should be given, these are disabled. No, awareness about a prominent place to be earmarked for them in the political dispensation. That is the awareness restricted to. What else?
National Commission on the lines of this.
Come again?
National Commissions.
Yes, National Commission making up a body. National Commission on the lines of other constitutional bodies. See, so beautiful points you have given. One more point, 150 marks is over. One more point.
Making political parties to include these persons in their.
That is through voicing. That can come under, you can write anything under the voice. You can come under anything under the voice. One more area, try to think, one more dimension, vertical. How you give them more political participation, political upliftment.
Funding.
In what sense?
Like they will not be having a
Representation and policy making.
Representation.
Or policy making.
So you write here, you give an extension to this, policy making, reservation of seats, policy making.
Sir, we can even add this point. Like usually elections don't have the elections will be consuming more number of money. So,
Okay.
They will not be able to.
No, but that will amount to discrimination. You giving only one certain segment of the society the money, others you not giving.
Positive discrimination.
No, not allowed. Not permitted. In the political spectrum, it is not permitted. No, there is nothing called positive discrimination. Reservation is itself a उसमें फिर से और तुम करोगे बात. One dimension you guys are missing.
And another dimension related to infrastructure, like friendly infrastructure to the disabled persons.
ये किताब का आंसर है.
Like friendly in the sense.
मुझे किताब का आंसर नहीं चाहिए, किताब में मैंने आंसर दिया है. हाँ, political upliftment, think. Statutory, non-statutory, make a law of what? कौन था वो? हाँ, what law? Make a law for what? नहीं, what for law? Law क्या लिखेगा law में? What will you write?
So right against discrimination उसमें on the basis of so you mentioned religion, caste, creed,
हाँ,
everything is mentioned.
हाँ.
In that aspect we can add another dimension.
Okay, first मैं बोला था, but you have given this constitutional mandate to them. Discrimination against the physically handicapped, it is already in place. You have to restrict your discussion to political upliftment,
Sir, making mandatory political parties to have a separate subsidy.
reservation.
Actually, they have SC.
You mandate here, sub point. Major political parties to have certain percentage of seats nominated for the physically handicapped. Khatam. I want you to give a vertical ka answer. The way she give media, national body, yeah.
Society also encourage that type of people to take a part in that process.
She is closest. Closest. हाँ. हाँ. Media awareness. I spoke about taboo.
Like through community representation.
What sense?
Social worker, maybe.
You are just there but missing it. हाँ. Yes. That's why I am not adding it separately. इसलिए लिख नहीं रहा हूँ. What is the dimension missing in the what all constitutes the political dimensions? he was closest when he spoke about infrastructure. But because it was a bookish answer, I did not accept it. But it is closest to that. See, the Act of 2016 related to protection of persons with disabilities, it mandates certain functions for the election commission. That whenever a polling booth, whenever the election is happening, the polling booth should all be what you call disabled friendly booths. The access should be given to them on priority, and certain physical infrastructure should be given to them. Now, when you talk about all the what you call buildings related to, is your on first of all, do you think your parliament building is disabled friendly? So, the institutes that represent the, to start with, the institutes that represent or the infrastructure that represent the political spectrum, they all should be made disabled friendly. See, all the government offices have to have a ramp to enter. It is mandated under the Act. If there is no ramp for a disabled person to enter, that particular office will be penalized by them. Because the government official who will come to inspect your building, if he does not see a ramp for them to climb up the stairs, you will be penalized for that. So all the officers to start with, at least the political institutions which represent political participation for various spectrums of the society, should have special provisions for including infrastructure supportive of physically handicapped people. So that is the important dimension. If you can write 4 to 5 points like this, you can beautifully get a good marks. Okay? One more dimension we will try to see. Ground realities and all, it is very, it is what you call understood. See, he is talking about Article 29 of the convention, second page starting. Article 29 of the convention mandates that state parties should ensure that the persons with disabilities can effectively and fully participate in political and public life on equal basis with others, directly or through freely chosen representatives. Most important word, freely chosen representatives, underline that word. See, whenever UPSC में correction कैसा होता है समझो, I'll take 2 minutes. You go and write your mains answer. UPSC is all about 3-layered corrections. UPSC is all about 3-layered corrections. Each booklet would be corrected by 3 different people in that particular subsection of whatever is under correction, right? If anybody gets more than 50% marks, it goes to the chief evaluator for confirming whether he should be getting the 50% marks or not. Anybody closest to 50% in mains, unka text, unka answer books come to one side, because they are the people who are in the race. Rest 40% and below side mein kar dete ho. So the first person who is evaluating your paper, everybody they are given a model answer. UPSC gives a model answer to them, asking them to find certain words or sentences or facts and figures about a particular issue. So what if I am an examiner, first day I will see, I will try to by heart, 1 से 2 बार refer करूँगा, but over a period of time I will by heart this in the process of learning. So when I am correcting your paper, I am only looking for certain words, and if I am finding something more than the words which I feel they are more connected with the demand of the question, that is when I have graded you more than 50%. It goes to the what you call one more person who is known as the second level of person who is verifying your document. If he feels that yes, whatever the first person has given right, he will send it to the principal or chief evaluator for confirming the number of marks that particular person has got. So you have to look for these words and underline, try to bring in the word exactly. Freely chosen representative. What do you understand by this? Either directly or through freely chosen representatives. What is the meaning of this word, freely chosen representative? Read the sentence again. The political parties should ensure that the persons with disability can effectively and fully participate in the political and public life on an equal basis with others, directly means himself, or through freely chosen representatives. इसका क्या मतलब है?
There won't be any exploitation.
No, no, freely chosen representatives. What is the meaning of this word? Very important word in the entire sentence. Normal? No, there is no separate electorate for it. Don't go back to modern history. There is no separate electorate system in our country anymore. Yeah. Ram, freely chosen representatives.
Proxy voting.
With so he has to, the moment you talk about freely chosen representative, see, what is the meaning of this freely chosen? Are the other representatives not freely chosen? Everybody is freely chosen only, right? Nobody is forcing me to vote for Modi, no? कोई आके बोला अमित शाह ऐसे लाके एक बंदूक रख के गया, सरदार इस पे नहीं डालेगा तो गोली चला दूंगा. But in this case, why they are exemplifying that freely chosen representative? It could be a disabled person himself or any person who is ready to fight for the cause of disabled. Very, very important. Whose agenda is that if you vote me to power, I will fight for your cause. The state parties should not discriminate against that person who is being freely chosen as a representative by the disabled section in the society. So the political party should not sideline him in either giving ticket or giving any other support to him. So if he takes the upliftment of them as his sole criteria of contesting an election, that discrimination should not be done against him by the state political parties. Here state means not state government. It could be country level, it could be state level, or it could be local level. ठीक है? चलो, rest all is self-explanatory. Come to the question. What is the question saying? Political empowerment and the inclusion of the disabled are an issue that has not found traction in India's democratic discussion. Comment. हाँ, लिख सकते हो आंसर? Political empowerment and the inclusion of disabled are an issue that has not found traction in India's democratic discussion. Shall we write the answer? अरे yes or no? हाँ, क्या लिखोगे इंट्रोडक्शन में? और shall we change the question, make it more difficult or easy? Shall we make it more difficult or easy? Can I say, if I want to make another question, political inclusion forms the core of, political inclusions forms the core of all other inclusions for persons with difficulties. Comment. To make it more difficult, critically comment. Okay. What is the difference between comment and critically comment? Not to this lot. What is the difference between comment and critically comment? In comment you are commenting, in critically comment you are critically commenting. कौन बोल रहा है? हाँ, उदय बोल. In comment, if the question is, see, I keep telling to whomsoever I do the evaluation, UPSC is not interested in your knowledge. Believe you me, UPSC is not at all interested in your knowledge. In your entire answer, even if you do not write a word about some facts and figures, accepted, you will not be punished for that. But if you miss the essence of the question and fill your answer with facts and figures, you will be punished. Because whenever it is, and all the questions in UPSC will end with indicative words. These are called indicative words. These indicative words are placed solely with an intention to know your opinion about the underlying issue. Now in this question he is trying to see how much importance you give to this particular dimension of inclusiveness over other types of inclusiveness. Persons with disabilities, what are the other types of inclusiveness? Economic inclusion is there. One dimension is economic inclusion, where you get job reservation, where you get, when I talk about economic, where you get even reservation in education. Health is also a dimension of economy only, so health related inclusion. What else inclusion? बोलो. इकोनॉमिक है ना रे, फिर कौन सा फाइनेंस? ओनली वन. अरे एक सोशो कल्चरल बोला था ना. ऐसा क्यों तुम लोग यार? व्हाट हैपेंस टू यू? मेरे चेहरे पे कुछ लिखा है क्या? सोशो कल्चरल. हाँ. Do you witness this even today to a temple? When a disabled guy goes, the reaction of the priest will change.
Psychological inclusion.
The reaction of the priest will change. They are not considered to be pure souls. They have done something wrong in their past life that the God has punished him. So they want to maintain that. This is their belief. It is not truth. This is their belief. So you see that second grade treatment given to a physically challenged person. So it is very deep rooted into your socio-cultural spectrum. So that has to go. So for that, the only way is through a पंडित जी को तो एजुकेट नहीं कर सकते, because पंडित जी is born educated, he doesn't need any school education. How do you educate पंडित जी? Breaking his leg? Then how do you educate पंडित जी? अरे पंडित जी वो भी अपनी तरह इंसान है यार, उसको भी थोड़ा प्रसाद नजदीक से दो, ऊपर से क्या फेंक रहे हो? हाँ? पंडित जी स्कूल में आने के लिए राजी नहीं है. हाँ? How do you tell Pandit ji that what you have done is wrong?
Showing many examples, truth about.
See, one thing you understand, you cannot change one generation above you. You can never change your parents' mindset. You can never change. You do whatever you want to do because they are all fixed. You cannot change. I tried my best to change some dimensions, I failed miserably. So I have stopped. That is the change I accepted. There is no point changing them. Okay? Why? Because they are a result of particular type of schooling. So at this age and what you call time, they cannot change. So how do you bring in the change in the behavior of Pandit ji then and there? What will you do?
Religious heads.
What will you do? पंडित जी को पनिश करेगा, पाप लगेगा, अगले जन्म में तू भी साला ऐसे ही होगा. ठीक? हाँ. In front of him, treating dearly, showing not sympathy, showing empathize with him. Though you can technically cannot empathize with a physically handicapped, for empathizing you have to be in that shoes. But to show to that priest, you have to take him much more closer. If he was trying to maintain distance, you hold his hand and take him. So the Pandit ji will get a lesson of his life. So that is through educating by action. Very, very important. Not by preaching. Educating by action. 2014 or 13 ethics में case study था. Similar lines. ठीक है? Try to understand how these dimensions can open up. And one more important dimension of inclusion, other than political, economic, socio-cultural, legal. That you have 2016 Act. 2016 Act. ठीक है? Now, what will you write in the introduction part? Time is running out. एक ही हुआ आज, क्या बात है? हाँ.
So you said that the priest, we cannot change the priest's mind.
The intention is not to change him. The intention is to make him feel guilty for how he reacted. He will never change.
Like we need to show it. So if you remove the sanitation or else women as the concept, then how we can
फिर किसी और क्लास में, तो आज खराब मत कर मेरी क्लास, ठीक. In major temples, the physically handicapped are not allowed in the sanctum sanctorum. I hope you are aware of this, because they are considered to be impure. That is the deep rootedness of your this thing. And I have seen this in front of my eyes. A very big dignitary, I took him to darshan at one of the bigger temples, I don't want to name. Despite he being at that particular position, the head priest said, sir, not beyond this point. ठीक है. So just imagine how deep rooted our social customs are. ठीक है. That's how things is. चल. Now what will you write in the introduction? Political inclusion forms the core of all other inclusions for PWD, or all other inclusions in the absence of political inclusion are meaningless in case of persons with disabilities. What will you write in the introduction part? What will you write? I want that first line, what you will write.
Political arena plays an important role in deciding the other social economic culture because it has legal framework and
He says political spectrum decides the fate of socio-cultural, economic and legal dispensations of all the classes in a society. This is what you wanted to say? Yes or no? Now how he has opened his discussion? He is trying to say that this is the one who can bring change in any of these dimensions. Yes or no? If you make a physically handicapped the prime minister of your country, don't you expect their condition changing positively? Yes or no? Because he being the supreme, though he is not technically the supreme commander or everything, but he has the supreme power in his office. Will he not aspire to bring in some changes? So automatically that positivity will come towards them. So that is how, if you give them, this will ensure. What else I can write in the second line and the last line of introduction?
absence of constitutional provisions.
No. Again fact. No. Can I write, India is probably the only country in the world that gave universal adult franchise to all its citizens on the day of its birth? Yes or no? And this political inclusion is incomplete without giving the persons with disability their place in the political spectrum. What message have you given by writing this statement?
Violation of the
What statement have you given? Are you not saying your democracy, try to understand this dimension, your democracy is more inclusive than any other democracy in the world, and if you do this, probably you will become the first country in the world to recognize their importance in the political spectrum. Yes or no? आई बात समझ में? See, in the arena of political spectrum, generally a change is not easily accepted. People do not accept change in the political spectrum. The reservation for women is pending for donkey's years. Still it is not done, it is still pending. It means that the people who are holding the corridors of power, they do not want to loosen their grip. Can I not bring this dimension in the concluding remarks of my answer? Yes or no? क्या लिखोगे conclusion में? Main body I leave it to you, whatever you want to write. What will you write in the conclusion? What will you write in the conclusion? In the main body, I assume you will write all the constitutional dimensions, the Incheon commitment, the sustainable development goals, your act of 2016, all the sections related to it, you have filled in the main body. Now I want you to give me the conclusion to this answer. बोलो बोलो बोलो.
Sir, the democracy, it added more value for the democracy to this act of.
That dimension you gave here.
Even though we have the provisions in the constitution or acts, still we are hindering in the political goals.
More effectively, give it more effective.
Sir, can we talk about economic? Can you bring about economic aspect?
No. The answer is very clear. Political. You can make a passing reference, but not based on that an answer. अरे जल्दी बोलो, इतना टाइम नहीं है, पूरे 5 कंप्लीट करना है, 3 क्यों ना बजे. चल पूजा.
Political willingness.
He said political willingness. I want something else better than that.
Or bureaucracy.
Somebody else, bring somebody else. एक वर्ड मैंने यूज किया था. And the society at large. हाँ अब बोलो, अब तो लिंक दे दिया. See, always see, look, always do not bank only on the government to do something or the people in power only to do something. You always have society as a dimension to do something, and you always have NGOs as an added dimension of the society to do some things. You had this Anna Hazare movement, no? Anti-corruption movement, but did somebody did disability, anti-disability movement? No. Now tell, give the conclusion. Integrated approach, very good word. Integrated approach, an integrated approach encompassing, लिखते जाओ, integrated approach encompassing NGOs at the core, supported by the society at large, should create that space for persons with disabilities to enter the political landscape and bring in the desired change. Till such time we do not achieve this, the signing of conventions or commitments even at the highest levels are meaningless. So you have concluded with the message of the question, meaningless. So what you are telling meaningless? Just by signing the conventions, just by making laws, if you do not bring these changes practically on ground supported by these people, it will become meaningless. You can also use the word, these people, supported by these people, should create a pressure on the government to bring in a policy change to accommodate the persons with disability at the highest levels of political representation. कुछ भी लिखो यार, play with the words. UPSC is all about 3000 words. I keep telling to my students, वो 3000 words कहाँ पे क्या use करना, if you can master, बल्ले बल्ले, ठीक है? हाँ, if you can't, थल्ले थल्ले. थल्ले is down, ठीक है? Yeah. Yeah, anything, Sai? Rastava? Huh? Second question, second art, अरे इतना देर क्या लिख रहे हो? चलो next. What is the next article about? The delay in the implementing of the 4 labor codes. Which are these 4 labor codes? Second paragraph. First is the code on wages. Second is the code on industrial relations. Third is the code on social security. Fourth is the code on occupational safety, health and working conditions. Please make a note of these 4 codes. See, anything related to, understand, anything related to labor, the change, it is not so easy to bring. Though India is a mixed economy, though India is a market economy, though India is a liberal economy, though India is a participative economy, still there are leftist inclinations when it comes to the workman class. अरे कुछ समझ में आया? ऊपर से गया. See, though you may call yourself as a free economy, what is the basic tenet of free economy? If I am the owner of a company, I should have the right to hire, I should have the right to fire. Yes or no? That's what we spoke in our classes on economy, basic classes. That in a free market economy, it is purely based on the demand and supply. If I feel her services are not demanded in my company, I should have the right to fire her. But the social protection clause for the workman class do not allow that free hand for an individual to fire at will. Especially in a company, if the number of workers, as per the old code, if the number of workers in a company are 100 and above, that company cannot fire people at will. So it means that even in a pure what you call market economy structure, the owners of the company are not free at will to hire or fire at will. Because as I told you, despite the fact of our liberalism in the economic landscape, there is an element of leftist inclination where the welfare and protection of the workman class is given more weightage over my right to hire or fire somebody. Okay? So that is how that's why we are not pure economy in its purest form, because we have so many diversifications to be taken care of. Now, what it says, see, earlier there were 29 labor codes. If somebody is following the current affairs, there were earlier 29 labor codes, all have been subsumed under the 4 labor codes. 29 to 4. It means how many we have deleted? 25 labor codes you have deleted. Now, if there is a labor code, maybe 99% there is a possibility these labor codes were trying to protect some dimension of the participation of labor in an economic activity. Are yes or no? So, and as I told you, in a country where still the leftist inclinations are there, where the protection of workmen staff is the most important dimension, removing these 25 labor codes which were protecting the rights of the workmen staff is not an easy task. And if you read the article or the previous articles related to this, the bills related to converting this 29 into 4 were passed in 2 days with minimum discussions. Many a time the bills are passed even without discussion. What is that process called? Guillotine. Kaun bola? Very good. That process is called guillotine. It means that guillotine was during the erstwhile period when people had to be executed en masse. Instead of wasting a bullet on them, a big axe would be there and their head would be kept under it and the axe will be released from a height. It comes with a force and the neck will get cut. This process is called guillotine. In the parliament, if an act is passed without proper deliberation on that act, and if it is passed just by the voice vote or raising the hands, that process is called guillotine. Now the critics say that because you were removing these 25 labor codes, because you know that there would be lot of opposition to the removal of these labor codes, so you did not bring these 2 bills as part of discussions in the parliament, and silently within only 2 days of minor discussions you pass this act. So this is the biggest criticism. They say that if you feel that this is positive for the labor class, you have the courage, then bring it for discussion. Why are you not bringing it for discussion? So this is one dimension of the criticism. The second dimension is, turn the page. Now see, as I told you again, anything which is against the interest of the workmen staff or the workmen class, the leftist inclination, there are certain NGOs who work for the right of the what you call workmen class, they always will voice their vote. Whether it is privatization, because privatization will ultimately lead to retrenchment. Retrenchment is a word where people are told layoff, people are told to leave their job, it is called retrenchment. Privatization will gradually lead to retrenchment also. So that is how the leftist inclination people who are trying to support the workman class, they always oppose their view to any kind of privatization. So it says that in this second page of this article, apart from various industrial friendly proposals like, they underline the word industrial friendly proposal, it is not a workman friendly proposal, it is an industrial friendly proposal, like allowing a business with up to 300 workers. Earlier how much? From 100 now to retrench workers or close units without government permission, regulating trade unionism and introduction of fixed term employment for all sectors. It means now when these codes will get passed finally, it is still not passed because the state governments, because labor is in the concurrent list. If you are aware, anything related to labor comes under the concurrent list, it means the state government should also give their approval to it. Now if it is there, once this code will come into act, it becomes an act, what will happen? A factory where there are even 300 workers, the owners of the factory can hire or fire people at will, or they can say I am hiring you only for 6 months. After 6 months he will ask you to automatically leave, so that if you continue for a prolonged period of time, you may claim certain social benefits, social security benefits like PF, PSI and other things. To avoid that as a matter of right, they will take short term employment. That's what is the last word, short term employment. The second is regulating trade unionism. It means that whenever there are 300 employees, whatever trade union you will form within that employee staff, I will regulate you. I have the power to regulate you. Who will become the president, who will become the secretary, I will have the regulation. That is why it is called what friendly? Industry friendly proposals. So this is one of the basic criticisms, right? The new law also seek to ensure minimum wages, very important dimension, minimum wages. What do you understand by the word minimum wages? What do you understand by the word minimum wages? What do you understand by the word minimum wages? How do you come to the figure of minimum wages? Now tell. The cost of living in Kolkata, the cost of living in Bangalore, the cost of living in Mumbai, the cost of living in Hyderabad, will it be same? No. When you are talking about central minimum wages, how can you come to a common figure? How do you come to a common figure? When the cost of living or the standard of living at different locations is different. You have to average out. See, in the average out, who loses, who gains? The place where the cost of living is high, he will lose. The place where the cost of living is low, he will probably gain. So that is how, even when you are going for central minimum wages, certain dimensions have to be looked into before you go for deciding the central minimum wages. That is why you will see the central minimum wages will not be 500, 1000 or 1500. It will never be a round figure 652, 761, 894, like this it will be there, because each and every dimension is taken into consideration at the calculation of your minimum wages. So on one side it is talking about industry friendly proposals, but also on the other side it is talking about fixing a central minimum wage, and more importantly timely wages. Timely wages. ठीक है? This is one dimension. Now the delay, it is only, this article is all about delay, because this is a matter of concurrent list. The state governments also are taking the opinion of various stakeholders in their respective states, which is taking the time. I hope you are understanding. The state governments are taking the opinion of various stakeholders in their respective states, which is taking time. The center is trying to tell the delay is not because of me. The delay is because of the various 29 states who are taking time to take the opinion of the various stakeholders before they give in their consent to me. And on top of it, they are giving one committee's reference name, SP Mukherjee Committee. If you flip the page, the SP Mukherjee Committee, which is working towards the issue of minimum wages. What I discussed, the issue of minimum wages, how to come to that golden figure of minimum wages. Implementation of minimum wages is yet to complete its task. It means that not only the state governments की तरफ से delay है, the delay is also from a committee that has been appointed to give its view on the calculation of minimum wages. Very, very important. ठीक है? See, in economy, one thing I am trying to do it for you. What we will do is, over a period of time, all the important commissions set up in the entire economic spectrum, their major recommendations. We will take some classes on that. Probably I will only take that class, either me or Chandrasekhar sir will take, so that you get a deep idea of what is happening in the entire domain, not presently, in the past also, important committees and the recommendations. If say in banking, if I ask you which is the most important committee ever set up, कौन बताएगा? Excellent. Whatever you are seeing in the entire banking landscape today, it is a result of this gentleman's recommendation, Narasimham Committee 1, Narasimham Committee 2 recommendations. Whatever digitalization of banking, whatever tokenization, whatever this credit card culture, wallet culture, all these things is a result of the recommendations of Narasimhan Committee only. So like this, each and every spectrum, spectrum has important committee recommendations. So you should be knowing all this committee, their recommendations, what was the essence, what is the basic fallout, all these things. So we will take classes on you for that, don't worry. Now, what lies ahead and all, it is all English, you escape that. Now, come to the next article. Is NATO strong after Ukraine invasion? Is NATO strong after Ukraine's invasion? Is it strong? Huh? See, there is a book, The Avoidable War. The name of the book is The Avoidable War. Kevin Rudd, K-E-V-I-N, Kevin R-U-D-D, The Avoidable War. Once you become bureaucrat or you give up on UPSC, either of it, once this happens, read this book. And if somebody is wanting to take PSIR as their optional, can read in their leisure time during the course of preparation also. An excellent representation of various dimensions of two competing world powers today, China and US. You will feel each and every line is important. That's the beauty of this book. Each and every line you feel how, and the Kevin Rudd is a guy from their land only who wrote all the wrongdoings of them against China. Historically, China gave more than 20 chances to America to patch up with it. Historically, when I use the word historically, time frame 1830 to 1950. In this time frame, China gave 20 opportunities to America to embrace it as an ally. Initially it became a strategic partner, then it became a strategic competitor, today it has become a strategic adversary. So this entire book, he is trying to showcase that journey, how it started as a strategic partner, competitor, today standing as a strategic adversary to it. So each and every word that you will maybe some words will be going over your head. Try to take a dictionary and try to underline only for the students who are planning to take PSIR as their optional, not for others. Others after the UPSC preparation is over. Okay? Now coming back to NATO. See, NATO, as we all know, is an organization that was formed at the end of World War II, right? Basically with an intention to strengthen the one pole of the Cold War dynamics, that is the capitalist pole or the democratic pole, whatever you call it, right? Now, why I brought this US and China dimension in the discussion is the so many what you call the Manila agreement. Anybody? What is the Manila agreement? Manila agreement, इनको तो too much to ask. हाँ बोलो रे, Manila agreement. Seato, अरे Seato, SCATO. हाँ राम, हाँ जोर से बोल. What is it? हाँ, yeah. It is basically an alliance treaty for the Southeast Asian nations to align with NATO. See, there are two countries, country A, country B, equal in strength. Country A, country B, equal in political, economic and what you call military strength. For example, now he wants to snub him. What he has to do? Increase his strength. Yes or no? Otherwise he will hit back. Same strength, no? He will hit back. So what is the better way of doing it? Trying to showcase himself as a bigger strength. Whenever you see a small animal suddenly caught in front of a large animal, what the small animal will try to do? Try to showcase itself as a bigger animal, so that it does not consider it as a prey and eat it or kill it, whatever it is. So when he wants to eat him, what he will do? He will try to showcase a bigger scale of his. So what he will do? He will try to patch up with others. Basically in the Cold War dynamics, to create pressure on China, be it China is America, he created alliance formations in the Southeast Asian nations also, not under the name of NATO but under the Southeast Asian Treaty Organization. And all these, as the name suggests, Southeast Asia, they were all in and around China, starting with Japan, starting with New Zealand, starting with Australia, your Vietnam, very very important country. Like this, all the important countries, he took them on the folds of NATO under a dimension called SEATO. Now what is the picture? Who is bigger? 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 This party along with it is bigger. He kept quiet till, because he showcased a bigger posture, right? So he kept quiet till 1990s. Now if I take this complete thing to other dimension, that is the Eastern European part. Please flip over the pages. NATO in 1990 some date, and then NATO in 2022. One picture is there, no? NATO in 1998 and NATO in 2022. If you see, the darker shade is moving from left to right. The darker shade is moving from left to right. Now you have to understand this movement of left to right of NATO is known as Eastern expansion of NATO. Very important. Is known as Eastern expansion of NATO. the point under current discussion, and the culmination of the eastern what you call expansion of NATO is the joining of Ukraine, joining of Sweden and Finland. This is the culmination, because just next to it you have Great Russia, right? Now, as per a pact in the year 1990s, in the 1990s, when the disintegration of USSR happened, and the USSR disintegration gave birth to 15 new independent territories. 15 new independent territories. Ukraine happens to be one of them, right? Now, the pact was that the NATO promised that it will not move eastward. The NATO promised that it will not move eastward in the 1990s, early 1990s, immediately after the disintegration of USSR. But what are you seeing in the picture? The NATO has moved eastwards. But what narrative the US was successful in making? That this guy is the aggressor of Ukraine war. These people made a statement that it is not only Russia, they have used one word. What is the word? Russia invaded, very very important. Russia invaded Ukraine. What is the meaning of invasion? Any PSI or optional? Mentorship mein? What is the meaning of invasion? Invading a country, what does it mean? With an intention to replace the political structure. That is the essence or the meaning or the intention of invasion. But is Russia interested in that? What is Russia fearing by the eastward expansion of NATO? Anybody? What is the fear of Russia's eastward expansion of NATO? Very good. The basic premise of fear is not weaponization of neighborhood. Please understand this. Russia is not bothered about weaponization of its immediate neighborhood in the west. It means that once Ukraine, Sweden and Finland join NATO, the NATO weapons will come to the border. Yes or no? NATO weapons will come to the border. Russia is not bothered about that, because Russia is a vast territory and very inclement weather conditions. In a time of a war scenario, it will not do anything, it will just withdraw, let them come inside, they will automatically die of the cold conditions and all, because of the entire Serbian peninsula and all. Now, what Russia is more bothered about is, it will bring in the culture of democracy, it will bring in the culture of what you call capitalism to its neighborhood. That is what Russia is more bothered about. And when the pact was signed in the 1990s, when you promised that you will not move eastward expansion, you will not do, why have you done? And in the bargain, USA is making a statement that Russia has invaded Ukraine, and when Russia is saying that it is what this military action Russia called it? Russia calls it a special military operation. Very beautifully written. They said it is a special military operation, and US wanted India to condemn this and say that it is not a military operation but an act of invasion, which India was not ready or is not ready to accept or do anything against Russia. We say that it is not an act of invasion, it is an act of special military operation. Now, one more dimension in this article only he is talking about, when Sweden and Finland are being taken into the folds of Sweden and Finland, when they are being taken into the folds of NATO, what is that underlining premise of this article? Anybody? What they are being forced to do, Sweden and Finland? What they are being forced to do, both Russia and Finland, what they are being asked to do forcefully? What is written? That whenever a country joins NATO, alliance of NATO, that country has to promise and give it in writing that it will spend minimum 2% of its GDP in defense expenditure. Now, who will benefit from this defense expenditure sale? The capitalist countries will say. So, under the garb of giving protection, security protection, this is the word, security protection, they are actually what they are doing? They are glorifying capitalism. Russia has problem with this. Okay, try to understand the underlying principle. That is the reason why these two countries, see now what will happen is, if you create an aggressive posture, tomorrow China creates an aggressive posture along India and China border, will you also not take corrective action? You will also go for some panic purchases? Yes or no? We don't know, tomorrow China may immediately carry out an attack tomorrow morning 10 o'clock. Let's go for a panic purchase of some items. In the bargain, who is benefiting? The moment Russia and Ukraine went for war, India did some panic purchases which nobody noticed. Why? Because you did panic purchases, you knew that once Russia engages itself in war for a prolonged period, it could not satisfy its defense export promises. It will get delayed by couple of months. To tide over any mismatch of war waging potential in this gap, India went for some panic purchases. Now who benefited out of these panic purchases? So that is how the biggest problem with the NATO is not about people joining it or moving out of NATO. It is the underlying principle under which the countries are forced to spend a part of their GDP. See, 2% of a GDP of a country is not a small amount. It is a big amount, and Sweden, Finland, these are the countries which are performing much better than other countries in the global spectrum. So the amounts go very, very high. So that you need to understand. Also, in the NATO, when you are part of NATO, you have to bear the expenses of running NATO also. With me? Yes or no? When you are creating an organization and the present strength is how much? News mein hai na? 40,000 is the present strength, and what are they trying to increase this 40,000 strength to? Now, will it not cost? इसमें पैसा लगेगा कि नहीं? Will it not have an economic implication to it or not? People will not come for free, no? They are not volunteers. They are not jihadi volunteers, right? They are all soldiers. So if you have to increase this recruitment from 40,000 to 3 lakh, job opportunity, right? For 2,60,000 soldiers, job opportunity. You have to pay them. You have to bear the cost of their training. You have to bear the cost of their equipment, their weapons that is to be given to them, the salary expenditure, the medical expenditure, so many other dimensions of expenditure. Where this money will come from? Where this money will come from? The member countries. The money will come from the member countries. This is another way of weaponizing the world. Once the issue is resolved, what will you do with that 3 lakh soldiers? This is what America did, US did with the Mujahideen. Once the target of Afghanistan was completed, they diverted them towards India and even Pakistan also. So that is how, if you are creating them without a particular mandate, and if open enhancement of your troops happen, what will happen? In this entire bargain, one idiot is silent. फिर उसका पर्पस क्या है? If they are going for their own army, they are going for their own weaponization, their own decision, why this guy is silent? What is the role of this guy? What is the primary function of United Nations? First line, to maintain international peace and avoid Third World War. These are the two mandates given to the Security Council of United Nations. One, avoiding of Third World War, they are successful. But what happened to the international peace? There is big failure there. So that is how you need to understand this dimension. So whatever NATO is trying to do not see it only from security point of view. Also see it from the underlying capitalistic point of view also. There was no reason telling Ukraine to, see, who created this panic situation? US created this panic situation. Who got panicked? Russia did not get panicked. Russia responded by a military action. But who got panicked? Sweden and Finland. Ukraine तो idiot है वो, छोड़ दो. वो दो बंदर के बीच में वो फंस गया. You have to understand. See, if you see historically, Ukraine is the epicenter of Russian, what you call historical past. The growth of Russia happened in the Ukrainian soil in the 800th century. So if something that took birth on your soil, can you go and join the opposite pole? Will he keep quiet? And person like Putin being the president of Russia, how could you even think that it will happen? So these are all blunders of foreign policy. So not realizing the mistakes that you are committing in the foreign policy. That is the reason why whenever India is made to give a statement or provide a support in any particular dimension, we are extremely careful. The Ministry of External Affairs, either the minister or anybody working in that, they are given strict warnings not to open their mouth loosely. If you open the mouth loosely, a negative message will go. It may even spoil relationship with that particular country. So it is extremely difficult to bring out anything outside the mouth of Jaishankar. You cannot bring out so easily because he's got everything for everything. He's got very positive answers for it. So you need to understand things from that particular deeper perspective. Now, what is the title of the article? Is NATO strong after Ukraine invasion? What is he trying to say? He is trying to talk about before the war how strong it was. One paragraph, the first page of the article. NATO appeared to be weakened during the administration of former US President. Now, see the beauty. This guy, it is the brainchild of him, US. Are yes or no? US का brainchild है, and he himself did not give money. He said, people who are looking for protection under the NATO, they should fund NATO. Why should I fund the NATO? If you are looking for a protection cover, the beauty is Turkey is also part of NATO. That's the worst part of NATO, right? When you want protection cover under the NATO, why country like USA should bear your cost? You only sponsor for your protection. If he only has to sponsor for his protection, why will he come to you in the first place? It is like telling Pakistan, please give me protection cover. From whom? From Pakistan. Does it got any sense? No. So, but this guy, because you chose a senseless president, Trump, in the name of Trump, he gave you similar kind of, when he said that, I will not give 1 rupee also for NATO. People who are looking for umbrella protection under the NATO, let them only fund the cost of their protection. Then what is the role of a world leader then? Then why are you calling it umbrella protection? Why are you not calling it a security agency? Then why are you calling yourself world leader? That's what the countries were started telling before the war. And now immediately during and after the war, again these people took two back steps. Who? US. You said Ukraine you will give protection cover. When the protection cover was needed, you switched off your cell phone. When Ukraine president started calling you, you said wrong number, phone rakh diya. So where this guy should go? So that is how before and during it only exposed the weakness of NATO. And the biggest weakness of NATO, if anybody can say, is, what is the biggest weakness of NATO? Biggest weakness of NATO, let me see if you can point it out. किताब में नहीं है, छोड़ दो, don't look in the book. The biggest weakness of NATO is different geopolitical situations. All the countries who are members of the NATO, they have different geopolitical situations. In the background of different geopolitical situations, this guy is not able to find something known as common ground. See, you need to have a common ground for a deeper bonding, right? Are yes or no? Without a common ground, you cannot have a deeper bonding. So here, the common ground is missing because of the differentiated geopolitical situations across the globe, because you took everybody on board. See, when will you keep more people surrounding you to protect you? When you are insecure. So the only this movement from 40,000 to 3 lakhs, it is only showcasing the insecurity of NATO in front of the whole world. Now people are thinking, on one side you have failed to provide protection cover to Ukraine, and second side you are saying you only should fund, and now on the third side you are saying let us increase the strength from 40,000 to 3 lakh. Afghanistan story, you all remember, US ventured into Afghanistan. It was a NATO's what you call joint military operation, but the withdrawal from Afghanistan was a unilateral decision. Whose unilateral decision? When it was a unilateral decision of US, the other countries questioned. When you wanted to go, you took all of us on board. When you wanted to come back, you did not even tell us. So what does it mean? It is lacking coordination at the ground level. How will it function? You getting my point? So these are some of the weaknesses of NATO. Okay? So this is what we have discussed in the all discussions here. Next article is all about, see, the question of NATO. The eastward expansion of NATO in the late 1990s is seen as the cause of today's turmoil that manifested in the form of Russia-Ukraine war. Comment. Can you guys write? Are yes or no? Please write and show it also. Now the next article is functioning of National Investigation Agency. The class is till what time? Come again? 1:45 तक है ना, तो 15 मिनट और है, राइट? ऑफिशियली 15 मिनट्स, अनऑफिशियली 15 more minutes, राइट? ऐसा मत देख यार, ठीक? तो we can take the class till 2 o'clock in the night? Only afternoon? अरे किसी दिन whole night class चलाते हैं ना, क्या दिक्कत? How many in whole night class? Good. आपके सर नीचे खड़े रहेंगे, उनको ऊपर ही बुला लीजिए. Good. Functioning of NIA. Why this is in news? Why this is in news? See, why? उदयपुर क्या? इटराना पैलेस, कौन सा उदयपुर? हाँ. See, this is a anti-terror investigation agency. Yes or no? This is an anti-terror investigation agency. If it is an anti-terror investigation agency, why are we giving what you call individual killings to this particular agency? उसके पास और कोई काम नहीं है क्या? What is the mandate of NIA? Any violent activities happening in the 8 statutory laws. Flip the page. Schedule offences, 8 schedule offences. The list include, remove the first one, Explosive Substances Act, the Atomic Energy Act, Unlawful Activities Act, Anti-Hijacking Act, Suppression of Unlawful Activities Against Safety of Civil Aviation Act, SARC Convention, Suppression of Terrorism, Suppression of Unlawful Acts Against Safety of Maritime, Navigation and Fixed Platforms on Continental Shelf Act, Weapons of Mass Destruction Act, and relevant offences under the IPC, Arms Act and the IT Act. So this is the domain or the mandate of NIA. In this, anywhere the narcotic, drugs and psychotropic substances, is it related? कहीं है schedule offences में? नहीं है. But if the proceeds of the NDPS are used for funding of terrorism, then the case can be handed over to. If it gets linked with terrorism in any dimension, whether it is individual targeted killings also, the case can be immediately handed over to NIA. We spoke in the foundation class, no? What is the difference between a terrorist act and an act by an organized crime syndicate? What is the biggest difference? कौन बताएगा? What is the definition of terrorism? हाँ उदय, अमरीश, नागराजू, साई शेषु, हाँ, Ram. What is the definition of terrorism? टेररिज्म का डेफिनेशन क्या है? इट्स एन एक्ट ऑफ वायलेंस. हाँ, बाकी मैं लिख लूं. Acts of violence against, generally targeted against civilians with an intention to instill fear in the furtherance of. And when I use the word violence, this is the idea of terrorism, mass violence. They do not consider उसमें बूढ़ा है, बच्चा है, गरीब है, अमीर है, कुत्ता है, गाय है, उसको कोई लेना देना नहीं. He only will carry out an attack where there will be mass killing, right? Violence where mass killing will happen. Now, you are seeing in Kashmir, what is happening in Kashmir is targeted killing. Now, this targeted killing is the domain of organized crime syndicate, no? That mafiaism, where people are targeted and killed if somebody denies to pay the required amount for any consideration. So he will be targeted, and that targeted killing of that particular person will happen. This is the ideological base of an organized crime syndicate. Now, why these people, the terrorists, are resorting to this? Why this change suddenly? Matlab, terrorism is never directly, it is discreetly only. Terrorism by itself is a low intensity conflict, no? LIC, terrorism is a low intensity conflict because over a period of time Pakistan has realized that in a one-to-one border confrontation it cannot defeat India. So that is how it embraced terrorism as part of its low intensity conflict, right? Now, in this dimension, they used to carry out mass killings. Now, they are carrying out targeted killings. Why they are doing that? Why are they doing this? For money motive, their ideological motive. But why these people suddenly started doing this?
They want to implement the ideology.
No, the thing is, these people have embraced the work culture of organized crime syndicate. Instead of sending a trained terrorist, training him, exfiltrating him or infiltrating him into India, ensuring his safekeeping, all other dimension is a costly affair. Find out from 60-70 of you who has got the ability to carry out a crime without. What is the most important tenet of an organized crime syndicate individual? The ability to commit a crime without fear. So I will identify any one of you who has the ability to carry out a crime without fear. I will give you some money. And whom I am targeting is a person who is against my ideology. So though I have carried out an act of terrorism, it will appear as if it is an act of organized crime syndicate. This particular dimension is known as, concept में क्या नाम था? Ram, is known as what? Black hole syndrome. Please make a note. It is known as black hole syndrome. What is this black hole syndrome? When the law enforcement agencies cannot differentiate whether a particular act of violence was carried out by a terrorist organization or an organized crime syndicate for ideology or for money considerations. So it creates it's a zone of black hole syndrome. The law enforcement agencies do not know under which act to take. If they do not understand the terrorism angle, they will go to IPC and book under murder. But if they are capable of linking, they will come here under unlawful activities, and which is more heinous crime. So that is how this is intended to create a black hole syndrome in the eyes of the law enforcement agencies. That is how repeated targeted killings have happened in the recent past in the state of Jammu and the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Try to understand this. And that is how a particular targeted killing was given to the NIA. So that is how it came under the news. Okay? Now, what is NIA and all that story in your basic foundation class we will talk about. The last is strains on India-Russia defense cooperation. This is strain is as a result of ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. This strain is not as a result of, it is as a result of Russia-Ukraine war, but the strain of relationship is not as a result of change in the strategic drift. Try to understand this word. There is no strategic drift of India's foreign policy that it is drifting from Russia to US. It is not that. It is as a result of primarily the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. Because of its commitment in the war, Russia is not able to ensure timely delivery of its weapons and equipment. That's the article all about. That you need to understand that the delay in the what you call this thing is not as a result of the strategic drift from Russia, but as a result of the ongoing involvement of Russia in the Russia-Ukraine war, because all its production activities related to defense would be concentrated more towards its own battle in the Baltic Sea area. That is the intention. That is why the things are getting delayed. Now, the question that can come is, now that it is a learning that if you depend too much upon one country for your defense, what you call security arrangement, if these kind of situations open up, your own preparedness or defense preparedness might suffer in a short term. Yes or no? So now this calls for diversification of defense portfolio. Very, very important. This is the underlining message of this entire article. So now we have to go for either indigenization or diversification. The indigenization will take time. The shorter perspective is to go for diversification, or with that same country more and more joint venture, that you just exchange the technological know-how, let me do the production. That is how the AK-203 production is happening in India, no? कहाँ पे हो रहा है? उत्तर प्रदेश में हो रहा है. AK-203 is an assault rifle, the Kalashnikov's assault rifle, the latest version of the Kalashnikov, right? So that is how the production of AK-203 is happening in Uttar Pradesh. Certain other frigates are also being developed in India. So now to come out of these kind of situations in future, we should go more and more with the joint venture where the production activity would be carried out in India. So this is one of the effect of our favorite word, ठीक है? हाँ, your most favorite word, no? Globalization. So इसका one of the side effects of globalization, that you are now affected directly because of the war between two countries, right? See, you have to understand the India-Russia relationship should not be looked very narrowly. This is the biggest blunder US every time commits. It looks at India-Russia relationship from a very narrow perspective under the domain of only dependence on arms and ammunition. It is not the case though. You have to understand the deeper integration of India and Russia strategic relationship. Though there is no alliance, what you call pact between India and Russia, but we are more than an alliance partners with each other. Though US had got lot of alliance, what you call signed alliance pact with many countries, whenever those countries needed US was never there. But in case of Russia, it has always been available for India. What are the reasons? Let it be anything. So in this particular article, it is giving the perspective of the various areas where the dependency of India's Air Force, Army and Navy is on Russia. So make a tabular format in your notebook so that you can use the dimensions of dependency wherever required in any of the answers. Do not fill your answer with so much of information, this many frigates, MiG-29, 21 we were supposed to buy, 12 Sukhois upgradation was pending. No, you have to basically superficially talk about the Air Force dependency, the Army's dependency, the naval dependency, all these dimensions. So this is high time that India should go for diversification of its defense portfolio and harp upon more and more joint venture where the technological know-how of any country tying up with India would be shared with India and the production would be locally controlled for timely completion of the projects and ensuring that the defense equipment, the defense production does not get halted by any international global events. That is how you have to start writing the answers. Okay? This is one dimension. Yeah. Any doubts to anybody? Whatever we have spoken till now, you are free to ask.